Hello, boys and girls. You in your house, you've got it right, and me in mine. And we're going to start off again like we did yesterday with our fun chocolate bars song. Who likes chocolate bars? Right, this is a fun song. Twinkle, twinkle, chocolate bar, my daddy drives a rusty car. Push the button, pull the jug, off we go in a cloud of smoke. Twinkle, twinkle, chocolate bar, my daddy drives a rusty car. Now later on I'm going to teach you a new song, and it is again about a bit of old rust bucket. That's what they call old rusty cars. But first of all, I want to tell you something really important that I didn't tell you yesterday. Just put my guitar there. Now I'll just go and get this little car. Stephen's little white beautiful sports car. Remember yesterday we talked about the exhaust and how the exhaust comes out of the motor, comes right along to the end of the car, and then you can spot it right there where the bumper bar at the back of the car is. But Steve reminded me that not every vehicle on the road has an exhaust that goes right along underneath. Remember, every car has to have an exhaust pipe. Why? Because the exhaust pipe takes all those poisonous gases that come off the motor when the motor is working and making your car move along. But I forgot about the trucks. Now I wonder if any of you have seen something really special on a giant truck. Look, are there any exhaust pipes at the end there? No, but on the side of the truck, the motor is in here and the exhaust comes along here, and then it comes right up, so the exhaust goes into the air and not into the cab where the driver is sitting in there. So when you are watching television or when you're out and about, that you watch and see if you can see some trucks with the exhaust coming right up like that. Now I've got some really tiny trucks I'm going to get Steve to come up close and have a look at, because these trucks have their exhausts too up the side, so they don't come along the back from the motor and out the back, because sometimes those trucks are just too long. Look how many wheels, 1, 2, 3, and 3 on this side. 3 and 3 make 6. So they've got 6 wheels. It's a very long, very long truck, and the exhaust comes up there, so it comes right away from the truck driver. And here's another truck too, and this is a tip truck, and it can tip its load like that, but also it has 2 exhausts, not just one on one side, but on the other side too, right up like that. So isn't that interesting? The exhaust doesn't come along and out the back of the big truck. It comes up the side, and then the exhaust comes up. Sometimes when you're traveling along, you can see a big truck and it will suddenly shoot up a big cloud of smoke, and that's the exhaust coming up. Isn't that interesting? Now there's another type of truck too, which is Steve's ute, and Steve was telling me that lots of utes are specially made so they can go into the water, so they can go across, not really into the water, but they can go across rivers. And if they go across and the exhaust is out the back, it wouldn't work. The air wouldn't be able to escape. So those utes like Steve's have a very special exhaust that comes up the side of them too, just like the big trucks. And that means they can cross fords and little rivers, and the exhaust will still be moved right away from the driver in the truck. So isn't that interesting? Right, and we're going to sing our little song that we've been singing lots, and we can change the words, and you can change the words at home, and that's I'm driving. Should we drive in a big truck? And we'll go beep, beep, because they make big beep noises. Oh, I'm driving in my big white truck. Beep, beep. Oh, I'm driving in my big white truck. Beep, beep. Oh, I'm driving in my truck. Driving in my truck. Oh, I'm driving in my big white truck. Beep, beep. And it's a big truck. And the terribly awful gases that aren't good for us are going up there. They're not coming into the cab where we're safely driving. Now, I asked you a question yesterday, and that question was about what things do you have to have that are very important on a car. And one of them, remember, was a choke, and we talked about how the old cars you have to press the choke just like we sing, or pull the choke, sorry, just like we sing about in our chocolate bar song. But we also, this is the choke, we pull it out, pull the air up, the fuel can go down, and that helps the car to get started because it's got lovely rich petrol to start the motor. So that's really important. But we also talked about the engine, and we talked about how the engine, you can't drive a car without an engine, and Steve told us about electric cars have engines too. So we need an engine, but we also need some very other special features that you are going to have a look in your car, in your garage or outside, wherever your car's, your mummy or daddy car is parked. Now, there's something on the outside that goes like this. Did you guess what it is? Did you have a look? You are right, windscreen wipers. And those windscreen wipers are very, very important when it's raining. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, because one day in Steve's big ute, we were driving along and it was so windy and it was so rainy, and suddenly his windscreen wipers just stopped. And you know, Steve couldn't drive. He had to pull right over because he didn't have those windscreen wipers pushing the water off. And we just couldn't see. You couldn't see right in front of you. And it was so dangerous. He had to pull over. And we had to wait a long time for the rain to stop. And then we quickly came home, and Steve had to take it to the garage. I think he had to get a little motor replaced in the windscreen wipers. There's a little wee motor, electric motor, that makes them work. So just one thing missing on your car and it becomes dangerous. So that's why you need your car needs to be checked every year. Now, the other thing that Steve talked about in his video yesterday, his little Fred Flintstone car, it needed a steering wheel. And we're going to be talking tomorrow about why you need a steering wheel. You have a think too. If you've got some little cars at home, or your brother or sister's got a little car at home, or even if you go into your car and ask daddy or mummy, what does the steering wheel do? Now, we know that you have to go like this, but why do you have to go like that? What's happening when you go like that? Very important question. So we found out that we need a choke, and in the modern cars, the engine just puts enough petrol and mixes the air with the petrol to make it start properly. But with Lynda's old car and Steve's old car, we had to have a choke to pull it. We also have learnt that windscreen wipers are very, very important, and so are exhaust pipes, because exhaust pipes take that very, very dangerous air that comes off the motor along the car, or in a big truck up the side, so that the people are kept safe in the car. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm learning all these things as you're learning all these wonderful things. Now, just before we sing our new song, I was wondering if you could remember our new poem. We learnt this part first. Remember the rhyming words? Old, told, done, fun. And then we learnt another verse, didn't we? See if you can join in with me. I know there's some clever boys and girls that can. My favourite car is very old, well over 60 years, I'm told. It doesn't go fast, but when I'm done, I have had so much fun. So, and I know there's some boys and girls out there that can read some of those words very cleverly. Now here we go with our new verse, and this is about the car that you have at home. My favourite car is very new. Couldn't believe how fast it flew. It goes very fast, and when I'm done, I have had so much fun. And it is fun to go out and about in your car, but you can get your bikes out, and you can get, if you've got bikes at home, and you can go pedaling. And I know some people have got scooters, and they can go scootering in your drive or out when you go for a little walk. Such fun, isn't it, to be on something that's got wheels. Right, my little sweethearts, we're going to sing one more song. And it's called A Hunk of Tin. So I think this must be about an old car. You have a look. You have a think as Lynda sings it. I'm a little hunk of tin. Nobody knows what shape I'm in. I've got 4 wheels and a running board. I ain't no Chevy and I ain't no Ford. Honk, honk. Song, and I'm going to have a little talk about that song next time, because that song has got some special words, and they're called honour, matter, payer. Now some of our big children will remember that because we talked about those words last year, but I know some of our littler people, you'll be learning about those. So we'll sing that once more. See if you can join me, especially with the honk, honk, rattle, rattle, crash, beep, beep. Okay? I'm a little hunk of tin. Nobody knows what shape I'm in. I've got 4 wheels and a running board. I ain't no Chevy and I ain't no Ford. Honk, honk, rattle, 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 crash, crash, beep, beep. And remember, we never say ain't, but we are allowed to sing those kind of words in a song. So you ain't not a Chevy, that means you're not a Chevy and you're not a Ford, and that's a type of car. So isn't that a fun song? Okay, my little sweethearts, until next time, love you all.